How would you like a shot at winning $300 of my money? No, guys, I'm not kidding around. DraftStreet.com. Fantasy football players, you know the deal. Every single week this NFL season, we're running a special free entry contest with $300 of my money at stake. I'm playing, you're playing against me. I'm playing against all of you out there. Free entry. You know the deal with DraftStreet.com. You're drafting a couple of quarterbacks, a couple of running backs, a couple of wide receivers. The top 15 finishers every single week. Well, you get a shot at my $300, the top 15 finish in the money. Now, last year, guys, I finished in the money only one time the entire NFL season. But that doesn't mean this isn't my year. I love fantasy football. This is your chance to battle me, one-on-one, and yourselves out there. $300 at stake of my money, free entry, top 15, finish in the money every single week. All you got to do, click on the DraftStreet.com ads here on the site. Final segment of this week's Countdown to Kickoff program. Remember, guys, if you missed any portion of the show or if you just want to watch us again, just go to the website and you can watch it in its entirety. First game here in the last segment is going to be Atlanta, Kansas City. I think this is one of the most underpriced favorites on the board. I just don't understand the line. I know Kansas City's been great in openers, blah, blah, blah. But, and I know that the Chiefs, the teams in their games last year at Arrowhead were 8-0 against the spread. The underdogs were 8-0 against the spread in home games for KC last year. But I don't see it. I think Atlanta's clearly the superior team, and I think the Falcons are one of those teams you look for in week one to come out and make a statement because they're coming off a bad season a year ago by their standards.
And they're better at every key position. I think that's the fact here. There's a, when teams are equal, there should be a 3-point advantage to the home team. Atlanta being a 3-point favorite here on the road, it shows you that the odds makers feel that this is almost a touchdown better, this team. I like Atlanta here too. I think KC is nothing.
And listen, I understand that the Chiefs have covered 6 straight as a home dog, etc. They added Peyton Hillis. They got Jamal Charles back. But remember, the Falcons are going to play up-tempo this year. They're going to throw the ball more, de-emphasize the ground game. And with Roddy White and Julio Jones, they've got 2 of the best wide receivers in the game. And I think Matt Ryan's going to have a monster year, and KC doesn't pressure the quarterback enough. Philadelphia and Cleveland, there's another team, Philadelphia. Owner Jeffrey Lurie came out during the preseason. He basically said, no ifs, ands, or buts. 8-8 will not cut it this year if Andy Reid wants to remain coach. Reid's got to win. I think you saw an emphasis a little more than usual for Reid and the Eagles to win during the preseason. I think this is another game, just like the game with RG3, just like the game with Luck with the Colts, where Cleveland, new quarterback Brandon Weeden, underpriced favorite again here.
I agree. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of expectations for rookie quarterbacks this year. But Brandon Weeden is not one of those rookie quarterbacks. He's going to face a Philly team here that loves to sack the quarterback. They sacked the quarterback more than any other team last year. They play that wide 9. And I just like saying that, wide 9. They play it, and at the end of the day, Brandon Weeden's going to look like me on my first date. A lot of quick release.
Hey, and the interesting thing here, we are making our debut in Philly.com, and we, of course, are airing for the 4th consecutive season, Sports Time Ohio. So we've naturally annoyed and ticked off at least half the football fans watching this particular segment of the show. But listen, the Browns have only covered 2 of their last 12 games at home. And again, I just think that Brandon Weeden made me a lot of money at Oklahoma State. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. But I just don't see it happening here. By the way, FYI, for what it's worth, these two met in the preseason. The Eagles rolled 27-10 and had Weeden under pressure nonstop.
And don't you feel like Philly's on a mission this year?
Yes.
I mean, they really, dilly-dallied last year and took themselves out of the season quickly. They've got to come out here. They've got to come out strong. I think that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I think 17-point win for Philly is on order here. Next game, we're going to take a look at Green Bay, San Francisco, the game that's going to get the most publicity this week. And I've said it many, many times, guys. The marquee games are the toughest games to handicap, toughest games because they have the sharpest numbers. I like to concentrate the most where the odds makers concentrate the least. This game, however, I'll tell you, I don't mind taking the favorite in this one with Green Bay at home, -5. Remember, last year they opened up with that Thursday night 42-34 win over the Saints. Problem with the Packers, they couldn't stop anybody last year. Is this defense going to rebound? Is Cedric Benson going to give the running game a big boost? 49ers defense is tough, but I am still not a believer. I know they had a great year. I'm still not a believer in Alex Smith. I'm not convinced that this team with Randy Moss and Michael Crabtree is going to be able to move the ball down the field effectively enough.
No, I agree. Look, at the end of the day, I've got a big sign right over my cash drawer. It says if you can lay less than 7 with Green Bay at home, you should do it. You're not going to get many opportunities to do that this season.
And the Packers have covered 11 of their last 14 against the spread at Lambeau. So again, and this is a Packers team which wants a little retribution because who, including us, thought that they would lose their postseason opener last year to the Giants at home and then have to suffer and watch the Giants go on and win the Super Bowl.
But also what you said was very important. A lot of times people will gravitate towards the most exciting game on the board and look to bet that game. Just watch that game. Don't bet that game. Find the winner and bet that game.
Hey, before we move on, remember, guys, you can save $20 off a single purchase today at the site. You don't have to buy my play, although you should. Or Steve's Baltimore Crew, because you should.
Definitely.
And I gave you the records earlier, and you can see them on the website. Again, that money-saving discount coupon code is 20OPEN, 20OPEN. Simply enter it in your shopping cart when prompted, and it'll save you $20 off a single purchase today. Make sure you check out my daily videos as well, because every day I've got some type of special promotion. I'd say I feel like Monty Hall, but the younger people in the audience are going to go, Monty.
Who's Monty Hall?
Let's make a deal. Look it up on Wikipedia. Hey, how about Denver and Pittsburgh? This is another one of those games that everybody's going to be watching. I mean, I don't know which one. I'm going to be watching Packers, Niners, or Broncos, Steelers. We know what the deal is. Peyton's debut in the regular season for the Broncos. Ben Roethlisberger comes out in the preseason and says, oh, by the way, I've got that little rotator cuff injury. I'd be more concerned with Ben having his body aching this year because the Steelers' offensive line has not been good. They got a lot of talented rookies. One of them got injured again, out for the season. Can they protect him? Can Denver put enough pressure on him? That's the key. We know what happened, by the way, last year in the playoffs when Tim Tebow upset them as an 8.5-point dog.
And that's why I don't understand this line, because you have to figure that Peyton Manning versus Tim Tebow has got to get you 2 or 3 more touchdowns. And here you are, a virtual pick-em, same game they played last year. Take out Tebow, put in Peyton Manning. Should be a no-brainer. I mean, I don't know if it's a trap or not, but I love Denver here.
I'm with you too. And listen, guys, the Steelers have only covered 2 times in their last 10 games on the road. They've only covered 1 time in their last 6 outings as an underdog. So it's not like there's any statistical evidence to say, oh, the Steelers are the play in this game. Listen, we have a couple seconds here left in the show. Remember, you can catch the entire show or any portion of it in its entirety even over on the website. It's that easy. Seattle, Arizona, to me, this is the who cares game of the week, number 2, right behind Tampa and Carolina. Russell Wilson against John Skelton. Seattle did win and cover all 4 preseason games. Pete Carroll, since he took over the Seahawks, is 3-1 straight up and against the spread in this series. But I want to play it.
No, if you're going to play it, I think Seattle's the play. I think they're showing me all the promise. I've got all the hope for them. Very hard in the first week to figure out what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, you keep it simple. You lay the points.
I tend to agree with you. Listen, and Russell Wilson, just like Brandon Whedon, another guy who made me a fortune when he played at NC State in Wisconsin. So, I have his poster up in my room. And so I like Russell Wilson in this game, but, I wouldn't bet it. And then the other game is Miami and Houston. Biggest line on the board for a reason. Steve Tannehill, rookie, making his debut for the Dolphins, a Dolphins team that has no wide receivers, very little defense. And you don't think Matt Schaub, after missing the end of last season, just waiting to run up the points?
Houston very healthy at this point compared to last year. I mean, this is obvious. 2 different organizations going in 2 different directions. You either bet Houston here or you pass completely.
And listen, the Texans have covered 10 of their last 12 games. They're on an 8-2 ATS run at home. And they won last year against a better Miami team in South Florida, 23-13. So I like Houston as well in this particular contest. Well, Steve, that'll do it for week number 1. Remember, countdown to kickoff every single week, whether you're watching us on Philly.com, FoxSports.com, DirecTV, Dish Network, Sports Time Ohio, here at the website. We're going to be here every single Sunday breaking down all your games from a point spread perspective. Remember, 20 open saves you $20 off a single purchase today. Al DeMarco for Steve Booten. We'll catch you again next week.